And we're live. Hi.
What's up, people? We are live.
Welcome back. We had a little
Welcome
break,
back. Yes.
just a tiny little one.
Yeah, it's been a while, you guys. We apologize. Is anybody on right now? Let's see who's on right now.
I don't think anyone is here yet.
No, we just started, but that's okay.
That's okay. And we're
I
just getting back into the swing of things too.
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster of YouTube emotions. I don't know if that makes sense.
I think when you kind of live part of your life online, it does make sense.
Right, yeah. We have one lucky lover.
One person is watching. Thank you.
One person.
Thank you to that one person. We appreciate you. Don't
Right.
leave us.
Yeah,
And
so
what-
we've been out for a while. We had a few episodes on here, and we didn't get to talk about them, but we're just gonna keep going with the regular schedule, I guess, because today we're gonna talk about paradise and other dimensions
Mhm.
that you guys may not have known about or do know about, but don't really know the gist of it. And we're gonna break it down for you a little bit. At least I know I am. Um, Ryan also has a way of words that are better than mine, so maybe she'll enlighten you guys better than I do.
No, I just think that we have different brains. We
Yeah.
all process information differently. And what I would like to know is just kind of where people are right now. Because once you start to deconstruct, like I have a
Hmm.
feeling that most people that watch us are probably have some kind of association with a religion that they've left. Or,
Yeah.
there might be that odd one who is religious who are watching us. That's always possible.
Hmm.
But once you start that process, where do you go? What do you do with all those ideas that you were indoctrinated with since birth? Like, do you still believe in them?
Right.
Like, what do you do if you don't now? It's kind of
Yeah.
scary to think about.
Yeah. It's like it's those original like sit in a corner and crawl up into a ball moment because it's something you've been taught your entire life, and once you figure out it's been either made up
Seriously.
or twisted a little bit. Maybe it's maybe true, maybe not. It's like you're like, whoa, wait a minute, because you were on this racetrack and you were on your way to the finish line, and then all of a sudden you trip and you're like, everyone's just running past you, and you're like, how the hell am I gonna get to the finish line now? So you're stumped, and you're just like, damn, like that's $1 million I could have won. In this case, everlasting life. So am I losing that now because I have this new belief? So it's very shocking and stressful, and I don't blame anybody who undergo. I don't know. I guess some people go through trauma. Some people seek therapy
Yeah.
for help. I know I did.
Crisis, bro. That is
Yeah.
an extreme crisis when you realize that you don't get this promise of something after this life.
Mhm.
There's just nothing. Now, if
Mhm.
you were raised to believe that that's normal, that's a natural life cycle, part of the process, maybe had some kind of rituals, traditions that you would do to honor that person, people in your family, what have you, your ancestors, then maybe it would be different because you wouldn't feel so like forgotten. I don't know, but yeah, man, it does kind of make you want to curl up in a ball in a corner and go like, "What the fuck?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just wasted 20 years of my life on this shit. Oh my god."
So when you left, though, right? Did paradise seem different to you? Did you understand it differently, or did you
Oh,
just understand it as just a story?
I honestly think the moment that I realized the governing body were lying to me, I think it all really fell apart. I kind of had lost belief and I was like,
Hmm.
maybe there's some truth to the Bible, but it doesn't make sense that the truth of the Bible started, 2,000 years ago when life has been
Yeah.
going on for so long. But I do think that that part of the, oh, wait a minute, shit, I've kind of spent so many years of my life
Hmm.
doing a whole bunch of nothing when I could have been really living and experiencing it because I thought I was going to get the hereafter. So now
Of
what's all
course.
this been for?
Hmm.
So
I
that,
told.
that I think is what kind of really got me like, damn, now what the hell?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hell.
That's the same thing with me about everything. So once I found out one thing was twisted, or manipulated or just plain wrong,
It starts to fall.
I understood everything to be either manipulated, twisted, or wrong.
Yeah.
And that has helped me a lot. That's actually done better for me than worse because now I get to really see how things are. And I don't look as crazy to think, you know, maybe they just made a mistake, right? Like, I have to justify my own thoughts. And the research that I've done led me to actual truths that I now find fascinating. Now, I know a lot of you have been watching Ryan and I watch my channel, and lately I've been all over the place. I've been atheist, I've been agnostic, I've been straight up Christian, follower of Jesus. Now I believe the Bible is somewhat true, but not the way you guys think it is. It's really made up in a lot of ways, and it's not infallible. It's not perfect. It's not inspired. That I do believe. Um, but I still want to hold to a belief, and paradise is something I still kind of struggle with believing, and I want to believe in it. Um, but what does the Bible actually say? So that's what I'm here to do, to talk to you guys about what the Bible actually says and not what the witnesses say. And then you take it, with however you want to take it, however you want to believe it. I think it's just exactly what it should be. And I'm gonna go ahead if you're ready, Ryan. Okay, you're always ready. You're muted, but I read your lips.
Oh, oopies. Yes, I'm
There.
always ready,
Okay,
except
cool.
for when I'm muted.
Yeah. I have this whiteboard animation animation. Sorry, just a whiteboard, plain whiteboard that I want to draw on. But before I get into that, I wanted to do like a quick like introduction to what I'm talking about, right? Because like when you think about paradise, you automatically think a paradise on earth, right? A physical garden of Eden on earth, and it's what the witnesses believe.
Hmm.
But the Bible never really hints at being a paradise on earth. It's always been associated with heaven. And there are a number of scriptures that point to that, and I'm not going to get to that right now. But even Jesus himself points at paradise being a heavenly place because even upon his death, next to the thief, he told the thief that today you'll be with me in paradise. Now, when you think about that, like Jesus can't be on earth, right? If he's gonna be telling a thief that today you'll be with me on paradise, then Jesus can't be
Jesus
on
was like,
paradise earth. And this is why the witnesses can't justify abandoning heaven because then that would mean heaven is useless. So in order for them to make heaven sound like something good and earth like something good, they have to make them two separate locations. And to justify that is to say that only a select few go to heaven so that they can be with Jesus. And that, therefore, the remaining will be on earth, the remaining losers, I guess. But the Bible hints at it being a place where, just how the Garden of Eden was in the beginning with Adam and Eve, it was a place that was united. And we know this because when Adam and Eve failed and were scared after eating the fruit, they hid behind bushes. And the only reason why they hid was because they heard the footsteps of God. Therefore, it was a physical God walking among them. This is why Jesus in the Bible says that I will dwell with you. The Bible hints at God dwelling with his people. Just how it was in the beginning is how it should be in the future. Now, the Bible actually, I'm gonna get to that in a second. I'm gonna switch topics a little bit, but keep everything I just said in mind, because I'm gonna continue on after this. So I'm gonna share because today's topic is about heaven and dimensions, right? Before I share the screen, is there anything interesting that you thought about when thinking about dimensions? Because that's a crazy topic. That is,
oh God, I barely even understand half that shit. And to think about like other timelines, oh my God, my brain explodes.
right. Yeah. It's a lot to take in, and it's understandable because we are three-dimensional beings, and there are other types of dimensions we can't even think about or fathom yet. But maybe this will help. My explanation of it will help. Maybe, hopefully. All right. So, and I'm gonna be drawing a little bit to keep you guys awake And I'm going to start off by saying, okay, this is just an exercise I want you guys to do. So imagine, right, a tabletop. Let's do. Okay, all right, so this is a tabletop, right? Oh my God, it's not even square. Let me redo that. Yeah, here we go. So this is a tabletop, right? Are you guys? Is it the screen big enough? You
Yeah,
guys good?
I mean, it's fine for me.
So this is the tabletop. Let's just say you're standing right here, and and instead of it looking down at it, right? Instead of us looking down at it, we're gonna take this tabletop and put it on its side, so that we're looking at it from left to right, right? We're looking at it from left to right, and then we're gonna put a little two-dimensional being in the center of it. Now imagine you have a bunch of pages, and you start sticking them on with pieces of tape, a bunch of pages, right?
Okay.
Let's just keep doing this. I apologize for the bad artistic abilities of mine. All right, so these are just pieces of papers of tape. Now imagine they're, oops. Now imagine like they're all over the place, right? Eventually, it's gonna surround this two-dimensional being, and he's gonna be lost, and he's not gonna know what the heck is going on. All of a sudden, he's going to start panicking, and because his world is closing in, emphasis on the word world. This is his world. It's all he knows. So his world is closing in. He can't escape because he can only go left and right. But us, as a three-dimensional being, knows there's more to this world. There's more to it. But this two-dimensional being doesn't know that. Now, let's just keep that in mind. Let's erase all of this. And let's just, I don't know how to erase, so I'm just gonna hit back. Now let's just say you are a magical being who has a magical wand. Let's say you're Harry Potter, right? But instead of a wand, you have a piece of chalk. Now think of a chalkboard, and you have this magical chalk, and you draw a girl. Oh my God, she's round. So she's round, and in her hand is a rose. Okay. Now this rose, this should be upside down, right? Like the rose should be like this.
Yeah, that's closer
Looks
probably.
like a candy apple. So she's holding this
Like a
apple or
booty
flower,
on a stick.
right? Look at her foot. So
Right,
so
right.
you draw this little girl, and then you also draw a square with only three sides. It's important that you do this. A square with only three sides. This is supposed to symbolize a safe box, right? Because this little girl finds, now, first of all, she's created, right? She's a created being. She now has a beginning, but she doesn't know any better. She doesn't know anything much. She just knows she's alive and that the rose that she's holding is very pretty. So she wants to put this rose away. So she ends up putting the rose away into this, what she thinks is the corner of the room. Okay, not the actual safe box, because we know it's a safe box, but she doesn't know that. So she leaves for the night. The next, while she's sleeping, what we do is we draw in the third side. We fill in that side, and now it has four sides. It's a square. The next morning, she comes in to go and look at this flower and realizes that the flower is now gone. To her, remember, she thinks she put it in the corner of her room. So she thinks that the flower is gone, but in reality, the flower is just behind what she thinks, what she would think is a wall, but it's actually in a box. Only we can see this. She can't because she's a two-dimensional being. I know you guys understand this clearly. You guys are not little kids, but I wanted to do this because it's fun. Now, she may have a little bit of discernment, a little bit of knowledge. Curiosity may come into play. She may think maybe it's just behind this wall, but she can't know that either because all she knows is two dimensions, right? So our brains are wired in such a way that we can only believe what we see. Now, the real question is, if we are a three-dimensional being for a two-dimensional being, are we a three-dimensional being for a fourth-dimensional being? We can't fathom the idea because we don't know what it's like. And I'm assuming that the Bible is wired this way as well, where, but at least we aren't. Now, hold on, let me back out of this real quick because I'm going off topic here. Stop sharing. All right, so Um, I'm gonna go back into my notes. So you were this magic being, right, with a magic chalk who drew this girl. Now Adam and Eve are like this girl who were created by God, who had the magic chalk. The only difference is you and this girl would look at you as a god, and you would look at this person as just your creation. Now Adam and Eve saw God as a God who created them. But you, as a God, would you rather be Jehovah who created them, or would you rather where they know nothing at all? You keep them from knowing anything, or do you want to be someone that wants them to know everything, right? Some people say the Gnostics believe that the serpent in the garden was someone who wanted Adam and Eve to know more. Um, all of a sudden that context changes, right? The idea of the serpent being this good thing kind of changes things and makes people go crazy, right? Because they understand the serpent as being the devil. But when you look at it this way, you really understand how paradise was in the beginning meant as a like a cell, right? Like only good people can be in it. But then Adam and Eve rebelled. Why would they rebel in the first place if they didn't know any better? Like, if Adam and Eve were just created, they don't know anything. They don't know what's good, what's bad. They don't have a conscience. So why would God punish them? So the whole Bible is based on how they rebelled and they were punished for it. And so heaven and earth ended up being separated. They were denied Eden, and no, Eden is now no longer accessible. So this where paradise comes into play, where paradise is a combination of heaven and earth. Eden itself means a pleasurable place, a paradise. Now the whole Bible is based on this. It's based on um, trying to reunite us with this paradise. It's why the Bible mentions and hints at new heavens and new earth. And in the book of Revelation, it talks about how paradise is now like a new Eden shaped like a city. So there's more to it that I wanted to get to, but it's a lot. I don't want to keep talking. I don't know if Ryan has anything to say before I keep going.
No, I see what you're saying about where,
Hmm.
like, if you compare the Garden of Eden to the box where she puts the rose, it really just is like a holding cell.
Hmm.
And you're only, no matter what kind of, if it's 3D, 4D, you're trapped somewhere. You're not seeing beyond what that
Hmm.
God or that other higher being, whatever you want to consider them, you can't see beyond what uh, you can only see what they allow you to see is what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say. And that was, even though it sounds, they make it sound in the Bible as though it's this wonderful place, truly it's not, because you'd have to live without knowledge. Adam and Eve were always naked, like they were created naked, but at some point
Hmm.
information was revealed to them that made them feel embarrassed. So, really, in reality, that feeling should have always been there, but they were too stupid, basically ignorant, and didn't have that knowledge. So, is that fair?
Right.
Right? They didn't even have the ability to cover themselves because they didn't know it was something that they should be ashamed of. I don't think you should be ashamed of it, but I'm saying in the context of what they're trying to portray, is that truly fair to treat people and not give them autonomy?
Hmm.
I don't think that's cool, but I see that comparison that you're making with that
Yeah.
rose in a box and Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. So, yeah, what's beyond, like, fuck, like, really, fuck knows. And I agree with you. There's got to be life finds a way, just like said
Mm.
in the dinosaur movie. Life finds a way. So I absolutely believe there's more than we understand, and we spend so much flipping time worried about what some old dude wrote thousands of years ago
Hmm.
and trying to stick to it instead of just taking the knowledge that we need to keep moving, you know,
Yeah.
morality wise.
Yeah. I mean, think about the bacteria in the world, right? Bacteria, they're in their own world, and
Yeah, man.
to them,
They don't give
we're
a fuck
gods
about
to
us.
them. Because we're huge, and
Yeah.
they do things. They have their own city. They have jobs. They have a living. They're
Hmm.
literally alive. They have their own. So to us, it's like We look at them like, damn, poor bacteria. They gotta go through
They don't
hell.
give
They
a
gotta
F
take
about
care
us.
of us. But then, who's to say that we're not also bacteria to something else, right? We can't really say that we're bacteria. Like the Earth is a cell, and we're bacteria because bacteria and cells. I mean, bacteria are usually like kind of the same size of cells, so it's like we're like not the same size of Earth. Earth is huge, and the universe is even bigger. So we can't say we're like bacteria, but we are an organism to something else. We have to be, and that's where evolution comes. Like I tend not to believe in evolution. There is truth to it. Obviously, I mean things evolve all the time. You can create different breeds of dog just by having different dogs have sex with each other. Like evolution can exist, right? Breeding can exist. Breeding is
Ooh,
another form of
cross
evolution.
breed fruits and like I mean,
Yeah,
all kinds of
and
things happen nowadays.
with my understanding of it, like there are two things that keep me from believing in it. And you guys go ahead and correct me if I'm wrong, but monkeys, right? I mean, monkeys still exist. If we really evolved from monkeys, why do they still exist? That's my issue with that teaching. And then another teaching is
I
that
think that one's easily solved though. I think that that one's I don't have it in my brain to explain it, but that one's like that. I think that's the problem with evolution. People just see it as like one breakaway. Evolution is like so many breakaways just because
okay,
one group did grow and go a different way. Like
there's
we went
different
through
branches.
yeah, like it's all about process of like what survives. And
Hmm.
if something worked, then it's going to keep working. And like whatever little genetic change
Hmm.
that works, life figures out how to go along that path. But that doesn't mean that every single one of that, like not everything was affected by that. We, yeah, I mean, I honestly like it makes me, oh God, like, oh, there's so many conversations that we could have, but yeah, it breaks my heart how we're treating our ancestors, in my opinion. But you should, you know what, we could probably have that conversation one night if you want to. Maybe you could come on the worldly perspective with Dr. Time Waster.
Oh yeah, I've
She's
been.
she's kind of like we went through the evolution book and we just kind of destroyed why it doesn't make sense. And that was one of the questions we went through. And I'm sorry, my brain's not that
Oh, that's okay. I've been wanting to
scientifically.
go on her show for, or you guys with you guys for a while now.
Yeah, that would be cool though. You could come on and pick her brain about that. That would be awesome. But anyway, yeah, go ahead. So that was one that tripped you up, but I promise you it's a really easy, it's a very simple explanation because
Hmm.
that one kind of bothered me because I think as Jehovah's Witnesses, they implant that as a problem.
Yeah,
How could
and
that be possible? Apes are still here.
yeah. Oh man. The other thing that I had in my head was just bacteria itself, since we're on the topic of bacteria, right? If we evolved, if we all come from one source and that breaks apart, we evolve. Why haven't we evolved enough to coincide with bacteria enough to not feel sick anymore, to not die of HIV? Like, there's different
Because
sicknesses
they
that
keep
exist. Why
evolving
can't we
too.
evolve enough to coincide with it if we come from those organisms? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but yeah, I do see what you're saying, but that's almost like perfection. I don't,
Then again, yes,
because
you're
they'll
right.
keep evolving, they'll keep changing. Their goal is to survive too, so they need to outwit us. We're
Everything
all
has a reason, yeah.
evolving.
You know what always grinded my gears too? Tailbones. What the hell was the tailbone for? I have a tailbone and I can
Isn't that where
feel
our
it.
tails were?
Huh?
Some kind of
What?
something? Maybe there was a tail there. I don't know.
You know, I have a dimple there, like above my butt crack, that
The butt
my
dimple.
wife tells me I have, and I feel it, and I'm like, "Yo, did I have a tail?" And it's like, do we all have tails? Is that what the tailbone is
I
made
think there's
for?
some
Like,
people who
maybe if
do have
maybe we
tails.
are apes and we come from apes. I don't know.
It's like not a what do you call it? Like not a whole bunch of people, but there are some people who are born with a nub back there. They usually get it like taken off when they're babies, but
Hmm.
some people have left them on.
It's like freaking Goku from Dragon Ball Z who had a freaking monkey tail. From what was that? Dragon Ball Z GT, I think it was
Dude,
called.
I wish we were still part like more looking. I like wish we could go back several million. I don't know how far the fuck back we'd have to go.
Yeah.
but we still had some of that tail ability. I want to swang through a tree.
So you think if we had a those like what are those when you get the mechanical arm?
But go
What's
go
that called?
gadget arm.
What is it?
Go go gadget arm.
No, not that. What is the professional term for a mechanical arm for the people who don't have
What,
arms?
like amputees? Oh,
Yeah, like what if we had
prosthetic.
yes, that. What if we had that like as a tail?
A prosthetic
You would
tail.
think maybe like our brains would automatically kick into like knowing what exactly to do and how to do it and perfect it, and we just start swinging like nothing.
Dude,
Swinging. I see Ryan swinging on trees like if she's a
if
pro already.
they could, if I could just like gang gang, like just plug one in,
Yeah,
I'd be scaling buildings and shit.
right. Um, did you know, right?
Oh, you know what? I think we do because sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I
Bro.
remember somebody fooling some dude with the embryo of a dolphin, and it
Oh
wasn't a
yeah.
dolphin, it was a human. So I think we do have a tail at one of the stage anyway.
I used to think that too. Like, I wonder if we. I mean, we did start off with a tail, didn't we? I mean, sperm. Hello, they have tails.
Oh, true. Sperm does it. I mean, true, but the egg is really the life. The sperm is fertilization. But yeah, the fertilizer has a tail. Yeah, you got to freaking move, man.
We gotta move. How the hell are we gonna swim with no arms? you know, how are we gonna make it to the damn egg without arms? Oh, jeez.
Oh God, this conversation. Who
This
knew
is
it
an
was
awesome conversation. We're talking about sperm and creation. You know, there's something in the Bible that talks about the light that
at the end
comes
of the
through when
tunnel?
you're born. I'm not sure where that is in the Bible, but I know this is way off topic. Sorry, but it just reminds me of like how we may even be just spirits borrowing a body because we have a light. Okay, this is way off topic. I'm sorry. Like this is, I'll leave it for another day.
What are we, a simulation?
Huh?
Are we a simulation?
Yes. Are we? Are we? You know, there are
I've
things that happen that.
I've been having that fucking question. Like, no, I'm not saying we're a simulation, but I've been having that question. Like, there is no way that humans are this stupid. No way that we just continue to repeat the same patterns. Like,
I
maybe if
mean,
I learn the right lesson, everything will like beep, bump, bump, game over. Life is great now.
yeah, I've had those thoughts for a while. I've believed in reincarnation for a while, and it's like somehow it's still in the back of my brain. Like maybe,
I mean, we
like
don't know.
like I this is extremely sad to say, but I'm gonna say it. Like my father passed, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes I feel like he's probably alive somewhere, like in another body, with different brain, different mind, doesn't even know that he was my dad in the past life. Like I tend to think like, what if we're just repeating? We die and we repeat.
Yeah.
Like I would love to know what the freaking 24th century looks like, but I'm never gonna know if I die, right? So what if I just become something else and now I'm part of that? I
I
mean,
don't
I
know.
reincarnate to another person, and now I can really see. I don't know. I would hate to think that this world continues going on to like the 30th century, and we don't see flying cars. I want to see flying cars.
And we thought that we'd have them by now.
I mean, they have rockets. People deliver like Domino's has this commercial where they deliver with
Oh my
rockets.
God. It's so wild. The amount of technology that we have, and these mother effers won't even fix the infrastructure to put our electricity cables under the ground so we stop losing electric. I mean, there's so many things that we could do different to make life better, smarter, and less expensive down the road, but we'd rather just put billions and trillions into, and like, hey, that's great, the convenience,
Hmm.
but fuck the convenience. Can we fix the school system? Can we do something with our money that makes sense for once instead of
Yeah,
putting more money into the hands of rich people? Like, I would love that.
it's all being held back. Same thing with medicine. There's certain medicines that can cure, and it's held back.
Oh God, yeah.
So
There's too much money to be made off of, like, for so long, all these pill companies were suppressing the ability for marijuana to become legal, cannabis, I should call it cannabis because that's the real name, for cannabis to become legal. And now they're the ones trying to buy up farms, and now they're the ones who want to push these pills because now they have an ability to get in
Mhm.
on the ground up and they don't want to be left out. But they'll monopolize the market like they do with other stuff, and then they can control what's allowed to be released and what's not.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
It's bad actually. It's
And like
evil if you think
seeds,
about
like
it.
do you know that like there's seeds that are is trademark might not be the correct terminology, but like the farmers, they have to buy their seeds every year. Like they have to like buy them from licensed sellers. So they're not even in control of like their crops. And if you wanted to get the seeds, good luck because they're
Yeah.
fucking it's like we're not even in control of our food sources anymore.
Yeah. There was a city or town that they had people living in trailer parks, and they were closed in with like security, the government, and all that stuff to keep them from exiting to, I guess, to preserve the food source in that area. And I won't be shocked if that's exactly what the pandemic was about with
Mm.
COVID and all that, to preserve food sources so that we may have more and people could be wiped out in order to preserve
I don't
these
know. I
foods.
it just seems like recently the way that the government is behaving, and again with that whole Chevron, I think we might even talked about it last week, the Chevron deference being overturned, and now
Hmm.
federal agencies. Like I don't love the government. Trust me, I fucking hate the government, but I do think there are some there's so many things the government could do good. They just choose not to because they're bought and sold by APAC and J Street and all these other
Mm-hmm.
fucking
Mm-hmm.
groups. Um, oh shit! Well, I don't even know what I was going to say. Shit, I forgot what was I saying?
The government, and then you were talking
Oh,
about.
so the oversight. I do think that
Mm-hmm.
it's important that there's oversight, and I mean, who else is going to do it? Unfortunately, you just have to have good people at the hall. But now there's no government oversight, so individual judges can make these rulings that will basically line their pockets. So it's going
Oh
to be
yeah.
so easy for companies to pollute, which is going to mean our food sources, our water sources, like everything is at risk because companies do not give a F. They don't, it don't matter what religion they are, nothing matters. All they care about is the almighty dollar. And recently it seems as though there's going to be a huge possibility food will be hard to come by because it's going to be so super expensive. We're already seeing like the increases of like prices and stuff. So it does make you wonder like, does the government try to find ways to call and a certain amount of people so they can continue to get restrict because it just feels like we're in a pressure cooker and we're getting so restricted with our rights, with our
Mm-hmm.
everything is under attack, it feels like.
Even the government itself, like at times. I mean, Trump was just shot at
Oh shit, yeah,
the
Trump.
other day. That could
That
even be planned out. Who knows? I mean,
dude, I honestly don't even know what to say. I really there's like I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist. There's so many things to say. It's just so
mm-hmm.
weird that I don't know. I just don't know.
And and the witnesses are like soaking all this in and laughing it off because they truly believe that the world is really falling apart, and I mean the end is near because of everything that's happening, especially the Trump shooting. They're just gonna use that as like ammo and just say to the members, you know, this is the sign, man. We've been telling you all this time. The world is shit, and the end is near.
Yeah, and they can point to anything. You truly can point to any point in our history and say, "Oh,
Yeah.
boy, look, that could have been it. Oh, look, this is it." That it's so easy. But yeah, people definitely make it easier for the Jehovah's Witnesses.
Right.
Make it
Exactly.
very easy.
If you guys haven't seen my latest video, I'll probably put that up so you guys can laugh. This is in no way, shape, or form to make fun of Trump at all. This is just real life events of what the witnesses are capable of doing. Hope you enjoy. It's like 30 seconds long.
If you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
So the events unfolding around us are making clearer than ever that we're living in the final part of the last days, undoubtedly the final part of the final part of the last days. Shortly before the last day of the last days.
That was good. I haven't seen that. I'll have to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. That they're gonna be saying that. What the heck is going on? Why do I hear something? Oh, okay. Yeah, they're gonna be saying that. But
As they do. As
just to
they
wrap
will.
up what we were talking about paradise and stuff, just a quick little factoid. The Bible hints at how this has been hinting this whole time about paradise and about earth and heaven being together. And one example of that is how much there were temples being created in the Bible, because the whole point was for people to get in God's space. And one way of doing that was by building temples. There were two types of temples. There was the tabernacle, if you guys remember that, it was like a tent type thing.
Tents.
Tent, I said temp. And then Solomon's temple, which was the more modernized and common one. And within that was this place where you could go and be with God. Therefore, when Jesus came and he did his thing, it was to replace those temples so that he can become the temple. And then and then during all these times of the temples and worshiping God in the temple, in order for you to be acceptable to God, to even step foot in these temples, you had to do what? You had to sacrifice animals, right? All of that disappeared and finished when Jesus died, because he became the ultimate sacrifice. He's the temple. So therefore, there should be no churches. There should be no religion. This is all man-made. It's all to control you guys and to keep you from all those actual truths. And the Bible's, I mean, like I said, if you believe in the Bible has been hinting this entire time, there's no freaking paradise on earth. It's heaven. And if not just heaven, then it's heaven and earth combined. And on the note of dimensions, there's supposed to be more dimensions. We just don't know about it yet. Think about it. All the freaking planets that exist. Why can't we visit them? Why are they even there to begin with? Why is there so many galaxies? I remember when I was a witness. Did you guys ever, like, when you were a witness, say, "Oh, I'm gonna visit Jupiter one day in paradise. I'm gonna make this place my home. When the Earth is filled, that's where I'm going." I don't know. You guys ever had those conversations? As apart from the conversation of paradise on Earth, where you would say that house I'm gonna have in
Oh,
paradise,
yeah, we
and I'm gonna
had
have a
those
bunch of animals
conversations.
running around it.
Yeah, we definitely had those conversations out in field service, scoping out
Yeah,
whose house we were going to take when people died.
yeah,
Um,
that's so messed up.
Honestly, I'm not really sure if I remember what I thought about planets and stuff like that. I was so confused because it never really nothing really ever made sense to me, but I was forced to believe it. So
Yeah, right.
I'm not really truly sure of what I thought about that. But
All I know is that aliens have to exist. They may not be the aliens that we've come up with, the idea of aliens that we've come up with. Heck, we could be aliens to another galaxy.
well, we are.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Technically, if there's well, not if, wherever they are, technically.
God
And
or
I
not.
I would, honestly, I put the warning out, like, hopefully if they come into our system, they can listen to our TV programs and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, fuck no. We do not want to go there. They're avoiding us like the plague.
Right.
Yeah, don't come here. Not a good idea."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There has to be more
Shoot
out
for the
there, you guys.
dog.
There's um I mean, I used to think Katy Perry was an alien. It was not Katy Perry. Lady Gaga was an alien. It's,
She might
who
be.
knows? They might live among us already.
I
The Bible
mean,
does say that God will dwell among us. What if God is the aliens this
what if
entire
we are
time?
the gods?
We are the gods. I mean, we
I know
are.
that's what I think. I think we really are, like, in a sense, gods, because we have all the powers nowadays. We have all the powers that a god would. We're able to create, take life.
We can heal.
We do all the things that a god would do. And instead of using that power for good, we use that power to subjugate and kill
We were made
people.
in God's image. The Bible says.
Right. Well, gods, plural.
Yep, you're right. We're
Hmm.
making God's image. Yeah, you're
We
right.
truly, it's
Which would
right there.
explain why we also hate and why we grow envy. Because guess who also grows hate? I mean, who hates
Just
is
because they're gods doesn't mean they're perfect.
right. I mean, the
That's a weird ideology that people like to
right.
project onto the gods. Like there's this idea of perfection. No, they were just as petulant as we are, throwing fits.
Yeah, yep, yeah, pretty much. You're trying to show off who has the bigger guns,
Yeah, that
bigger muscles, and I mean, why do you think the devil even created or made himself into a god? Because he was jealous. There was competition. There was a bunch of shit going down in heaven or in whatever you want to call it, the celestial area they were in. And there was war among themselves. So if there's war among themselves, you got to believe that there'd be war among ourselves. I mean, it happens all the time.
it's nature. It's natural. And Satan actually was a god. He is a god. So,
Yeah, Satan is a god, and
which is why I love to throw that point in monotheist's face. I'm like, do you believe in Satan? Yeah. Okay. Well, here's all the proof that he's actually a god. So therefore, bingo, bango.
yo, I saw a video on Deconstructing's channel. And we're off in like a minute or two, guys. But I just want to say something. There's something on YouTube on Deconstructing's channel, on Quinn's channel, where he shows you know how he does all the artwork, the hidden like messages, the subliminal messages, and all the JW artwork. They actually show a lot of Amun Ra pictures, depictions in their artwork of this god, of this Egyptian god, and you tend to think, do the witnesses worship Amun Ra, and is Jehovah Amun Ra?
I mean, okay, so there is a connection between El, Amun Ra, and Hamon, which is a Phoenician god, but it's El. These are all emanations of El. So absolutely, there's going to be hints of him in Yahweh because that's what Yahweh has to do. He has to compete with the other gods because they all compete with each other. So sometimes in competition, you take attributes that are popular, right? If there's something popular like being anointed with oil, if that's something that's popular in that Swana region to become, some kind of divine being or, supreme,
Hmm.
then absolutely Yahweh is going to do some of those very same traditional whatever you want to call it.
Right. Makes sense. It makes a lot of sense as to if you're such a bad person, you don't want people to believe you're bad, so you gotta hide yourself and disguise yourself.
Yeah, and honestly too, that makes sense, right? You could be disguising some of your bad attributes, like maybe Yahweh was the one God of killing children because it's in the Bible that Yahweh demands you kill your children. So maybe at some point there's an embarrassment that, oh my God, we've demanded like we kill our kids because that's what we say our God said. How do we hide that? Maybe you take better attributes and combine. Like this is all within the realm of possibility. It's so complex. It's not as simple as people make it. It really
Hmm.
isn't. And it's so fun when you realize that it's really complicated.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I wish we can keep talking,
That was fun.
but we gotta head out.
Yeah. This is good. 45 minutes. I think that's enough of
This is
our
a good start to
wrapping.
our comeback, right?
Yeah, I think it's good we have these discussions. Would love to have some more audience interaction. Thank you so much, Doc Hayes, for being here. But
Yeah, we had about 7 people on at one point.
I would say that if you guys have any questions, and not questions as in like you're asking us for the answers, because we don't have the answers, but if you have ideas about the afterlife, how do you now feel about the afterlife? And when I mean like how do you feel, like does it scare you? Has it removed some security that you used to have? Because these are all intertwined with the reasons why they teach, right? People were having these questions like, oh my God, what happens to us? Oh, here's a belief I got for you. It's
Hmm.
smart. That's how you get followers. Oh, let me tell you about what my God does. And if you do A, B, C, and D, you're going to get a beautiful paradise. This is marketing. This is PR. These ancient legends and mythologies, a lot of it is kind of PR. So, and it's entertainment. It's fun. So I think we should look at it as entertainment, but I'd love to know how you feel about it now, knowing that without the security of a promised afterlife.
Yep. Um, Gen C commented.
Kab- oh, Kabbalah?
The Yeah, the um, the Kabbalion helped with the
I feel like she
afterlife
might be saying Kabbalah, but is
teaching. I'm not
maybe
sure
not.
what
Maybe
that is.
Kybalion. Kybalion.
Mama,
Oh no, I'm sorry. It's called Kybalion. I apologize. My bad. My
what is
bad.
that? It's a book.
Oh, it's teachings of Hermes. I've never heard of it. Okay, I will have to look that up. I apologize. Sounds interesting. It has a lot of geometrical kind of shapes on it, which I find is intriguing because the ancients used to love those shapes, those
Mm,
symbols. Thanks, Gen C. I'll have
yeah,
to
that's
take a
some
look.
good info right here.
See, that's why I like on audience interaction, because they teach me and we can teach each
Oh
other.
yeah, I since we've started this channel or this show, this podcast, there's been a lot of people saying a lot of things that I'm like,
What?
what?
Yeah.
Should you be the host? It's like I feel like a complete idiot now.
No, 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 because that's what it's all about, bro. It's all about learning. We've all been there. We've all
Yeah.
woken up and been there at that stage. We're all just in different stages. And it doesn't mean because we're at different stages, we can't still learn from each other.
Yeah, and a big thing is that what we want to do what other people aren't doing currently, because I don't think there's a lot of people who are doing what we're doing, just being open with what we think to be out of the Jehovah's Witnesses and then learn the actual truths together.
Yeah. I think sometimes we like to purport that like we have all these answers now that we're deconstructing, and I know a lot of stuff, but I don't know shit. The more I learn, the more I realize I actually don't know anything at all.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You kind of actually feel, the more you learn, you kind of feel more stupid. Because you're like,
Yeah, because it's like it's
what?
so much info. Like, how did I miss this, or how am I
Yeah,
gonna
why
catch
didn't I
up?
ask before? How did I not see this?
Yes, yes, exactly.
Yeah, always be learning. All right, you guys, we're leaving. We're done.
We are finito.
I don't know what our next show is.
So our next show is on the patriarchal
Okay.
theologian. What was it?
Don't forget to like, you
The
guys. Please
polytheist
like.
patriarchs.
Oh, okay. Awesome. That's going to be fun.
Yeah. So if you guys stay tuned for next week, we're gonna be talking about this, and it says 13 days.
Oh,
Not sure why.
maybe. Oh, you know what? I don't. Maybe I messed up one of the dates. It's possible when
But it
I'm
says
scheduling
720.
things.
Oh yeah, 729 is the week after. That's okay. We'll fix it.
We'll figure. Yeah, we'll figure out. All the episodes are out of order now, so we probably should change the.
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta fix them.
Sorry, gang.
Sorry. But thank you guys for being faithful nonetheless and sticking around and coming
Our
back.
faithful devotees.
I'll let Ryan do the end streaming because I always do it. Why do I always forget how to do it? There it is. Okay.
There
Wait.
you go. You got. Yeah, you just have to piece and
Oh, the
then curl your
piece.
fingers.
Yeah.
That makes
I
it
don't
so
know
much
why I always
easier.
forget it.
Yeah, that's how I taught myself. Piece, curl fingers. All right, you guys, thanks so much for watching. We will see you next week. Please remember to like and share. As always, deconstruct, decolonize your mind, learn the truth, whatever that might be. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Whatever the hell that means. Truth.